So in comparison, the AI is barely going to move their cursor, and the goal is just to top them off as soon as you can. So this is a blitz. Yeah, so you can see how their cursor speed is slow as molasses. And it really is a challenge on these first couple stages, because they just won't raise their stack at all. And you saw there that I kind of had multiple chains going on at the same time, which is it's a little tricky to do sometimes. And we also want to... Okay, so I think that should be enough. Come on, Brock. So this is an absolute blitzkrieg. We are just trying to top off these guys as fast as possible, and I would already be like way behind world record. Ideally, you want to get these stages done in under 15 seconds. Alright, so hopefully that'll be enough. There we go. Yeah, Misty made it a little easier for me because she raised her stack. Generally, you need like 5 to 7 lines of garbage after the first couple stages. I know Gary 1 doesn't raise his stack. I don't think Brock does either. Alright, so that'll be good. Yeah, 16 seconds on a surge. So these guys move their cursor at maybe a little faster than 1 swap a second. I personally am not interested in this category. And there's an 11-second Erica. Let's go. Yeah, Pokemon choices are purely cosmetic. There's no impact on the mechanics whatsoever. But puzzle games have shown us that the aesthetic matters so much. Alright, thank you, N64 controller, for just totally ignoring my button input there. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Bubble. From my experience, when people think of speedrunning, they don't think of puzzle games, but when they do see them, and this game specifically is very nostalgic, they don't think of it, but when they see it, they absolutely love it. Well, that is not how I thought that would turn out. But we still got 14 seconds. I was really happy to see the relative popularity of the bid war. And another fun thing about running puzzle games is that it requires a skill set that is just so mind-blowing to so many people. I feel like that when people see something like a platformer or a shooter being speedrun, they're like that's pretty impressive, but like I could probably also do that with practice. And when people see puzzle games being speedrun, like they're just like, how is that even possible? I know that I get like that when I see Tetris speedruns, or Puyo Puyo speedruns. IL competitions, there aren't really ILs because all these stages are pretty much the same. Alright, that should be enough. Yeah, all the stages like basically follow the same formula, so there's really no reason to have ILs. I think the fastest stage I've ever gotten was about 9 seconds, and usually that only happens if you make a mistake and drop your chain sooner than anticipated, but you like accidentally get the kill. Unfortunately, Rocket got the clear there, which is but they raised their stack super high. You saw we only needed 2 garbage blocks there. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that puzzle games aren't as popular, but I can kind of see the repetitiveness. They don't really have progression. It's just kind of a cozy run for 30 or 40 minutes or however long it is. That should be good. I've been on a dry streak with submitting this to GDQ. They last had it in GDQ at about, I think it was SGDQ 2017. Oh, and that's the end. That's time. We end at Giovanni. So you don't even go to the Elite Four in easy mode. Alright, so now that we have padded out the schedule a little bit, let's go to the Swag Chain show-off. This game actually has a custom puzzle mode where I can build these setups to show off the chains. So these chains they're not really intended, but with the way the mechanics or the engine of the game works, they're chains that you can get anyway. Alright, so this first one is actually intended. You'll see the AI do this, and they'll teach you this in the Puzzle University, like the tutorial mode. So we're going to go ahead and catch this block, if I can not suck. So just like that. If you do it too soon, it won't register the clear. But if you have about a 3-frame window to catch that and have it clear. So that's a pretty standard swag chain. Nothing too special there. This is either a 1-frame or a 2-frame trick. I'm going to swap in this purple right as it lands. If I do it soon enough, like that, it'll register as a clear. The reason this works is because blocks in motion have a chain flag attached to them. So as soon as this purple block falls, it's going to have a chain flag attached to it, and if clears happen and a block has a chain flag on it, the game registers it as a chain. So we basically swap it in while the chain flag is still active on it, and it registers as a chain. So that's a much harder one. And yeah, Amy, SGDQ 2015 was Cards of the Heart, and SGDQ 2017 was FFR Pro. And I got into the community about fall of 2017. Alright, so this next one, I'm gonna clear these blocks, and I'm gonna swap these right before they fall. If I do this right, they will clear when they fall. They won't clear right away. If I do this too soon, they'll clear right on the spot. And another thing I can do is actually swap these the frame it lands, and since the game still thinks they're in motion, it'll register it as a separate chain. Oh, that's really cool, Amy. I actually, I drove to SGDQ 2019 with cards this past summer. I had taken his world record a few months earlier, so I was afraid that he was gonna smother me in my sleep. Okay, so this next one, this is one of the hardest ones. I'm gonna swap in this red. Yep, this is a one-frame trick. Just like that. So basically, blocks fall one row per frame, and this is a 60 FPS game. So you have about 0.016 seconds to get this right. So you can actually like catch blocks with the cursor as they're falling, but it's frame perfect. This is definitely the hardest one. So just like that. This is the swaggiest of swag chains. You'll get major style points from Tony Hawk if you can pull these off. Alright, so this is a pretty basic one. I'd barely call this a swag chain. What you can do is actually drop those purples as they're falling, and then the top block will catch up with the bottom blocks and they'll register as a clear once they fall. Just like that. So that's a nice way to extend the chain. It has a pretty generous window. Alright, this is another one-frame trick. Instead of swapping it in the middle, like we did a couple puzzles ago, we're going to swap it in onto the top. And this is super trippy, because you can kind of see it get caught by the cursor and swapped into a clear. So that's one of my favorites. Alright, and then this is just a little compilation puzzle I made that has two tricks. I tried to make one that had like multiple, but I'm not that creative and I don't think you'd have that many moves available to you. You can only go up to 5 moves in custom puzzles. So first I'm going to swap in this purple as it falls. Like I said, this is a one-frame trick. And then, I missed it. I'm going to catch those dark blues. And I was a frame late there. This is unfortunate. I'm early every time. Oh my god. I'm so bad at this game. Got this first try the last marathon I did. There we go. So that was a 1-frame trick and then a 3-frame trick. So yeah, that was a pretty extensive showcase of the game. We did a super hard run, then an easy mode run, and then a swag chain showcase to kind of dive into the mechanics of the game. So thank you for having me, Valuethon. If you enjoyed watching, you want to watch someone that, one of the few people that streams Pokemon Puzzle League, feel free to drop a follow. Otherwise, I will sign off here. Thanks for having me.